Happy Tuesday, January 17th. It's only 342 days till Christmas. This video is going to be long, therefore I'm making it on my webcam so the file size is smaller and I can upload it faster. As Lizzie mentioned yesterday, I wasn't into Doctor Who this time last year. I actually didn't start getting into watching the show until around the time Let's Kill Hitler was on the air. This has affected my favorite characters and who I like and who I don't a little bit, but I'll get into that in a minute. As most of the other girls probably know, although I'm not sure if they'd agree, episode 1 of the 10th Doctor is not representative of how good the series actually is. I, like many others, was seriously off-put by the episode Rose. It was just strange with the mannequins walking around and weird and really didn't grasp me into the series. There was quite a delay between me watching that episode and me actually starting to watch the series. Thanks to the lovely girls here though, and the Jensen Chameleon Circuit, and people on Tumblr, and my Nerdfighter friends here in Ottawa, I did start watching Doctor Who more religiously once the fall semester started, and I was caught up in time to watch the Christmas special, but I'm gonna watch that tonight. As I mentioned earlier, who my favorite character is influenced by the fact that I knew who River Song was and her position, her relationship with the Doctor in the future. And I think who I favor character-wise is influenced by that. Because I knew who she was already, there wasn't that element of surprise. I didn't really have a chance to learn who she was through her character and try and figure out the mystery with her. So I just don't like her that much. Also, she's played by the same person who plays Dr. Corday on ER, and I can't get that out of my head. My favorite companion has to be Amy Pond, though. Right from the beginning, from when she was a child to how she grew up into a kissogram, immediately I was like, this girl is so smart and resourceful and awesome. She's the perfect companion for the Doctor, and I'm so glad that they got to be really good friends, and I'm glad that Rory joined them in things and all the stuff that happened to them throughout the 5th and 6th series, and I'm really sad to see both of them go, actually. I just remember watching the episode where Amy is, her job is a kissogram, and I'm like, why is that her job? She's so smart. A lot of people think Martha is the smart companion. I never found her that smart. She's just a med student, and like, she expressed the capabilities of a med student. Not that med students aren't smart, but I don't know. She just didn't seem smart like Amy does. I think my second favorite companion has to be Rose. I also really like the chemistry between 9, Christopher Eccleston, and Rose. Almost more than the chemistry between 10 and Rose, which is obviously the fan favorite. And she grew on me. I didn't like her in the episode Rose. I found her annoying. Making this video has made me think back into so many episodes of Doctor Who that I've watched, and I've watched so many in the past year. Everything's kind of jumbled together. So I'm trying to remember all the villains and monsters, and I don't really have a favorite villain who isn't a monster like Lizzie does. I never really got into the really villainy episodes, I guess. Like Lizzie, the Silence really creeped me out. They're just creepy, but I have a particular preference for them. Some other girls on this channel like the Weeping Angels, or are really frightened of them, actually. And I find them creepy as well, but they don't bother me as much because I'm not really bothered by what they do to you. Of course, looking them in the eye kind of bothers me, like where Amy started turning to stone. I don't want that to happen to me. But being transported to a time in the past and not being able to get back, it's bad, obviously, but I don't think it's as bad as some of the other things, like the Silence, where you can't remember them after you look away from them. All the people who had things happen to them from the Weeping Angels ended up turning out okay in the end. By far my favorite villains are the Daleks. No specific Dalek, none of the special ones with names, just the Daleks in general. The episode where Rose first discovers them and brings them back to life just moved me, and I have loved them ever since. I really hate the Cybermen. I find them super annoying, and I really dislike the episodes with them. And although they're not always villains, I love the Ood. Except not when they're villains, when they're good and have their little brains in their hands and just how they're gentle and kind and just completely wonderful. My favorite Doctor has to be 10. Matt Smith is wonderful and portrays the Doctor in a really unique and unexpected and quirky way and he's got so many awesome one-liners, and Stephen Moffat is doing a great job of writing, but David Tennant, I can't get over how wonderfully he played the Doctor. Although how he said allons-y kind of annoyed me because I'm bilingual and it's not said like that in any way, and that bothered me. And there's French movies from when I was a kid where it's said a certain way and that's how it's set in my mind, that has to be said. That's completely different. It has nothing to do with David Tennant though. And even though David Tennant doesn't portray the Doctor anymore, I still feel like David Tennant is the Doctor is David Tennant. I don't feel that way about Matt Smith. He just isn't the Doctor in my mind. He is, but he isn't. Lizzie and I actually have a lot of the same favorite episodes. I don't mention this on here a lot because I'm not as big of a fan as Vincent Van Gogh as Lizzie. I'm just, someone who appreciates most art. Vincent and the Doctor is actually my favorite episode as well. It's a lot more personal why I like that episode, which I don't really want to get into on this channel. But if you girls want to ask me about that, or Facebook messaging or on Skype or whatever, I'm totally fine with telling you guys. It's just not something I really want to get into on here. And I really love the part where they showed Vincent his work and how it was appreciated in the future, and I really liked the character Vincent himself and how he was portrayed, and it was just a really awesome, moving episode for me. Love Blink. It's awesome. Carey Mulligan, introduction of the Weeping Angels, just awesome. I don't even need to describe in detail why this episode is great, because I'm sure everyone knows. The Shakespeare Code, 100% because of the Expelliarmus and good old JK line. I really like the finale to season 1, The Parting of Ways. I think because of the part where Rose is infused with the time vortex and she brings back Jack and can see everything of all time in the past, present, future. And I think it epitomizes why the Doctor and her are able to have such a great connection in the second season, because she gets to see what it's like to be the Doctor momentarily. The whole scene is just a great moment of connection between the two of them, and the kiss is something that I feel like the whole first season built up to. Planet of the Ood is another one of my favorite episodes, mainly because of the Ood and how their brains are in their hands. I thought that was super sweet and adorable, and I really feel bad for the things that have happened to them. And my final favorite episode is the finale of season 2, mainly because it was so freaking emotional. I cried so much when Ten and Rose had to say goodbye, and I replay the YouTube video of the scene all the time, even though it makes me cry so much. And pretty much it goes along the lines of all the other favorite episodes I have. The ones that make me cry tend to be my favorite. So I've been talking for 15 minutes now. I think that's enough. I could probably go on for days about Doctor Who and all my favorite episodes and everything I love about it. So Candace, I'll see you tomorrow.